Marcus Hamilton sat in his wheelchair on the marble steps of his family estate, watching three women who would soon reveal their true nature. At 35, Marcus had built an empire in commercial real estate, but a riding accident 6 months ago had left him confined to a wheelchair, or so everyone believed. His girlfriend Victoria, 28 and stunning in her designer red blouse, stood beside her sister Natasha, who wore a shimmering champagne gown, both whispering and giggling as they looked at him. Behind Marcus stood Elena, a young woman of 26 in a purple housekeeping uniform with white trim, her dark hair pulled back neatly, her eyes filled with genuine concern as she adjusted the blanket on his lap. Victoria and her sister had been visiting more frequently since the accident, but Marcus noticed how their attention always drifted to his credit cards and the expensive gifts he showered on them. Elena had been working at the estate for only 8 months, hired by his mother before she passed away. The last gift his mother had given him was this kind-hearted young woman who worked tirelessly without complaint. Marcus had been planning this test for weeks. He needed to know who truly cared for him as a person, not just for his wealth. He had recently learned from his doctors that he could walk again with proper therapy, but he decided to keep this secret, to see how people treated him when they thought he was permanently disabled. Victoria leaned down and kissed his cheek coldly, her perfume overwhelming as she said, "Marcus, darling, Natasha and I are going shopping in the city. We will be back for dinner." Marcus nodded slowly, watching as Victoria's eyes barely met his before she turned away. Natasha giggled and added, "We saw the most beautiful necklaces at Cartier yesterday, the kind that would look stunning at the charity gala next month." Marcus said nothing, just watched as the two sisters walked toward the luxury car he had bought for Victoria 3 months ago. As the car disappeared down the long driveway, Elena gently touched his shoulder and asked, "Mr. Hamilton, would you like to sit in the garden for a while? The afternoon sun is lovely today." Marcus looked up at her kind face and nodded. Elena never asked for anything, never hinted at wanting gifts. She simply showed up each day and made his life easier with small acts of thoughtfulness. She wheeled him to the manicured gardens to a spot under an old oak tree where his mother used to sit and read. Elena spread a blanket on the grass and helped him transfer from the wheelchair, settling him comfortably against the tree trunk before sitting a respectful distance away with her mending. They sat in comfortable silence for a while before Marcus spoke. "Elena, do you ever wonder why you stay here, working for someone like me?" Elena looked up from her sewing, her expression puzzled. "Someone like you, Mr. Hamilton. You are a good man who has faced difficult times. Why would I not stay?" Marcus felt something twist in his chest. Victoria had said almost the opposite last week, complaining to her sister that dating a disabled man was becoming tiresome, though she did not know he had overheard through the open window. He asked quietly, "What makes you say I am a good man? I cannot even walk. I am half the man I used to be." Elena set down her mending and looked at him directly, her eyes serious. "Mr. Hamilton, a man's worth is not measured by his legs, but by his heart. You pay all your staff fairly. You donated an entire wing to the children's hospital. You speak kindly to everyone regardless of their position." She paused and added softly, "Your mother told me before she passed that you were the finest man she knew, and I have seen nothing to contradict that." Marcus felt tears prick his eyes. His mother had been gone for 5 months now, and he missed her wisdom terribly. Over the next 3 weeks, Marcus continued his observation. Victoria came by less and less often, always with excuses about social commitments and shopping trips. When she did visit, she spent most of the time on her phone or complaining about how boring life had become. One evening, Marcus overheard Victoria talking to Natasha in the dining room. They did not realize he had wheeled himself close enough to hear through the partially open door. Victoria's voice was sharp with frustration. "I cannot do this much longer, Natasha. Dating a man in a wheelchair is social suicide. People look at me with pity at every event." Natasha laughed and said, "But sister, he is worth millions. Surely you can endure a bit longer until you are married. Then you will have access to everything." Victoria sighed. "I suppose you are right, but I draw the line at actually caring for him. That is what the staff is for, especially that little maid who follows him around like a devoted puppy." Both sisters laughed cruelly, and Marcus felt his heart harden against them. That same evening, Elena brought him his medication and a cup of herbal tea. She had noticed he had trouble sleeping and had researched natural remedies to help. As she set the cup down, Marcus caught her hand gently and said, "Elena, thank you for your kindness. It means more than you know." Elena smiled warmly. "It is not kindness, Mr. Hamilton. It is simply treating you as you deserve to be treated, as a human being worthy of respect and care." 2 days later, Marcus decided it was time to execute his plan. He called Victoria and asked her to come to the estate for an important discussion. He also asked Elena to be present. When Victoria arrived, dressed impeccably as always, she seemed annoyed at the interruption to her day. Marcus sat in his wheelchair in the study, Elena standing quietly near the window. "Victoria," Marcus began, "we need to talk about our future." Victoria's eyes lit up with interest. Finally, she thought he was going to propose. But Marcus continued, "I have been doing a great deal of thinking these past months about what truly matters in life, about who stands by us in difficult times." Victoria's smile faltered slightly as she sensed something unexpected coming. Marcus looked directly at her and said, "I heard you talking with your sister 3 nights ago about how dating a disabled man is social suicide, about enduring me for my money." Victoria's face went pale, then flushed red. "Marcus, I can explain. We were just joking. You know how sisters talk." Marcus held up his hand. "Please do not insult my intelligence further. I have watched you these past months. You visit less and less. You show no genuine interest in my recovery. You see me as a burden and a bank account." Victoria's mask slipped completely, and her true nature showed. "Well, what did you expect, Marcus? You're not the man I started dating. That man could walk, could dance, could be seen in public without people staring." Marcus nodded slowly. "You are right. I am not that man anymore. I am better. I have learned who my real friends are." He gestured to Elena. "This young woman has shown me more genuine care and kindness in 8 months than you have in 2 years. She asks for nothing yet gives everything." Victoria looked at Elena with contempt. A maid? You are comparing me to a maid." Marcus's voice turned cold. "Yes, and she is worth 100 of you." Victoria stood up angrily. "Fine. I am leaving. Do not expect me to come crawling back. You will never find another woman willing to deal with your situation." As Victoria stormed toward the door, Marcus said quietly, "Actually, Victoria, there is something you should know." Victoria turned back, her face still flushed with anger. Marcus slowly stood up from the wheelchair, his legs steady beneath him. Victoria's mouth fell open in shock as Marcus took several steps toward her, his gait slightly stiff but strong. "I have been able to walk for 3 weeks now," Marcus said. "My doctors cleared me for full mobility, but I wanted to see who truly cared for me as a person." Victoria stammered. You could walk this whole time. You were testing me." Marcus nodded. "And you failed spectacularly. Now please leave my home. We are finished." Victoria's shock turned to rage. "You manipulative. How dare you? I wasted months on you." Marcus walked to the door and opened it. "The only thing wasted was my time believing you cared. Goodbye, Victoria." After Victoria left in a fury of curses and threats, Marcus turned to find Elena standing with tears streaming down her face. "Mr. Hamilton," she whispered, "you can walk. This is wonderful." Marcus walked slowly toward her and took her hands in his. "Elena, these past months you have shown me what true character looks like. You asked for nothing yet gave me hope when I had none." Elena shook her head. "I only did what any decent person would do." Marcus smiled gently. "No, you did what someone with a beautiful heart does. And I want to ask you something." Elena looked up at him, her eyes questioning. "Would you allow me to take you to dinner tomorrow?" Marcus asked, not as your employer, but as a man who would very much like to know you better. Elena's eyes widened in surprise. "But Mr. Hamilton, I am just a maid." Marcus squeezed her hands gently. "You are a woman of grace, kindness, and strength. Everything I've been searching for." Elena smiled through her tears and nodded. "I would like that very much." 6 months later, Marcus and Elena were married in a simple ceremony in the garden under the old oak tree. Marcus had learned that true wealth was not measured in money, but in the quality of people who stood beside you. And Elena had shown him that the most precious things in life were often found in the most unexpected places. He had been a millionaire who pretended to be paralyzed, and in doing so, he discovered that his girlfriend's mockery revealed her poverty of spirit, while his maid's love revealed her richness of heart. Now, as he held Elaine in his arms, Marcus knew he had found something more valuable than all his business success. He had found authentic love. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and share it with someone who needs a reminder about what truly matters in life. Subscribe to our channel for more stories about kindness and real human values. And leave a comment below telling us about a time when someone showed you unexpected kindness. Your story might inspire someone else today. Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.